mayoral candidate will be on the general election ballot despite an attempt to block her candidacy by an ally of current Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who is
a mayoral candidate being challenged. The saga surrounding embattled South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard continues.
1. In a stunning twist, Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dothan and supervisor of Thornton Township, appears to be buckling under the pressure of mounting scandals, political instability, and widespread public outrage. Once hailed as a trailblazer, a young, dynamic black woman breaking barriers in leadership, Henyard now faces relentless scrutiny.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard was not at the hearing here today. Neither was her attorney, and she was not made available for a comment.
From missed meetings and lawsuits to federal investigations and allegations of financial mismanagement, her political career seems to be unraveling as the walls close in around her. 2. The latest developments have sent shockwaves through the community. Earlier this week, Tiffany Henyard skipped not one, but two crucial meetings, one in Dothan and another emergency session in Thornton Township. Her stated reason for the absence was credible threats against her and other officials. However, there's a catch. No one else seems to have been made aware of these supposed threats. Dothan trustee Jason House, who led the village board meeting in Henyard's absence, confirmed that neither he nor the board had received any evidence to back up her claims. This has sparked backlash from both residents and trustees, who accuse her of using the threats as an excuse to avoid accountability. As both Dothan and Thornton Township continue to spiral into dysfunction, the meeting in Dothan went ahead without her, and residents filled the room, eager to express their frustration. Public sentiment was unmistakable. Many directed their comments to Henyard, even though she wasn't present, calling her out for neglecting her duties. One resident sharply remarked, "I once heard you quote Dr. King about being the dream. No, Tiffany, you are a nightmare." Another added, "Come to work, sis." Her absence has come to symbolize a larger breakdown in leadership at a time when both Dothan and Thornton Township desperately need stability. 3. Let's not overlook the emergency.
Doors are locked here, and there's a sign on the building right now that says it's closed. For how long? Neither residents nor employees know at this point.
So why is Henyard
meeting in Thornton Township, which was meant to address critical issues, including the township's lapsed insurance policy? The lack of coverage has already led to the shutdown of essential services, such as senior transportation and other vital community programs. Residents are enraged as this shutdown has left many struggling to access basic resources. Trustee Chris Gonzalez, who called the meeting, waited an additional 15 minutes in hopes that Henyard would arrive, but she never did. Without her presence, the meeting could not proceed, leaving the township in a state of uncertainty.
Again, no comment from Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Voters here will first head to the polls in February for the primary election, then the general mayoral election.
Gonzalez later expressed his frustration, saying, "We're on a toll road of chaos right now, and unfortunately, the residents are the ones who are paying the tolls. The situation has reached a breaking point, and Henyard's absence only exacerbates the crisis." 4. So why is Henyard avoiding these meetings? Some speculate it's because she knows her time in office is running out. The federal investigation into her alleged financial misconduct has been ongoing for months, and insiders suggest that indictments may be imminent. And that's not all. Henyard is also tied to a long list of controversies, including unaccounted for township funds, extravagant taxpayer-funded trips, and questionable spending that has left Dothan's finances in disarray. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot's review of Dothan's general fund uncovered a negative balance exceeding $3.5 million, with $40,000 spent on Amazon purchases in a single day, purchases that have yet to be explained. If that doesn't scream mismanagement, it's hard to know what does. 5. Perhaps
to provide a way, provide services, and we're not doing that because they're stalling government, gridlocking it, because they can't have their way.
What's most shocking is the sheer brazenness of Henyard's alleged mismanagement. According to sources close to the investigation, several township employees have come forward with claims of financial irregularities, alleging that funds intended for community programs mysteriously vanished without explanation. One employee, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, revealed that invoices for certain expenses were either incomplete or fabricated to cover up where the money actually went. It feels like every time we ask for transparency, we hit a brick wall, the source said. These allegations have only deepened public distrust, with many residents now calling for a full audit of both Thorndon Township and Dalton's finances. The situation has only worsened as residents express growing concerns about how Henyard's legal troubles are affecting the township's operations. With lawsuits mounting on all sides, critics argue that Henyard's focus has shifted from governance to self-preservation.
Our hesitation is that if there's a person in there that will just say yes to everything, I mean, it will set us back.
She's using every resource available to fight for herself, not for us, said one frustrated resident at a recent town hall. This sentiment is echoed by Thorndon Township employees, who claim that basic operations have been neglected due to the ongoing insurance crisis. Programs that once served seniors, children, and low-income families are now at a standstill, leaving vulnerable residents without the critical support they desperately need. 6. Even Henyard's closest allies are beginning to distance themselves. Political insiders have observed a growing rift between her and some of her former supporters, many of whom now view her as a liability. One source close to her administration admitted that morale within her inner circle is at an all-time low, with staff members quietly resigning or refusing to engage with her increasingly erratic leadership style. The writing's on the wall, the source said. People are
need some action. Somebody that's actually going to do their job. How about that? Somebody that's come in, work for the people, not themselves, and have pictures all
leaving because they don't want to go down with this. This internal disarray mirrors the public chaos, signaling that Henyard's leadership may be crumbling from within. Her leadership, or lack thereof, has also sparked a political power struggle in Thorndon Township. Trustees Carmen Carlisle and Chris Gonzalez have been boycotting meetings to block Henyard from appointing an ally to a vacant trustee position, fearing it would give her unchecked power. Henyard, for her part, blames them for stalling government
manipulation. Nobody likes being manipulated, and when you get here, you know that's exactly what's happening.
Business and failing to renew the township's insurance policies. This back and forth has led to a complete stalemate, leaving residents caught in the middle. One trustee even warned that the township's insurance costs have tripled, while coverage has diminished due to the ongoing political turmoil, further burdening taxpayers. 7. While Henyard continues to assign blame to others, her critics argue that she is the root cause of the turmoil. Residents have taken to the streets in protest, demanding accountability and calling for her resignation. Outside Henyard's mother's house, one protester compared her actions to squandering a valuable opportunity, while others used megaphones to amplify their frustrations, symbolizing the widespread public anger that has reached a breaking point. Meanwhile, Dalton's acting police chief,
Jordan.
It's about democracy and it's about hypocrisy.
I really think it's very hypocritical.
who previously claimed Henyard faced numerous threats, has been unable to provide evidence of any that led to arrests or charges. This raises doubts about whether these alleged threats are simply a distraction from her own failings. And speaking of distractions, let's turn to the multiple lawsuits Henyard has filed in recent weeks. From challenging her removal from the Thorndon Township Democratic ballot to suing Dalton trustees for allegedly conspiring against her, Henyard seems to be throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. But the real question is, who's paying for all these legal babbles? Lawyers don't come cheap, and residents are left wondering if their tax dollars are being used to fund her personal vendettas. 8. Despite all of this, Henyard is still clinging to power. She is fighting to get back on the ballot for